This will be interesting. I was much funnier with the staff because they get the inside jokes. So I'll try to be relatively charming today. I'll have to see. I gave it my best shot every day, and I got paid twice a month. That's a square deal. That's a square deal. I've been working on this for about, I'll be working for another 2 months, and there's a couple things I really want to get done. Think I can get them done. One of them is opening the Burbridge Center. I was really pretty much a jerk to everybody that was working on our academic center. It serves everybody, so it's kind of warm to my heart. The other is I'm not going to mess around. We're going to get things in place for the stadium. We got to raise about $25 million, and I'm going to get 20 of them done before, not in the bank, but done. So, and there's never been a speech given by an athletic director that doesn't solicit funding. So I've done it, and I'm going to move on. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. The odds of me becoming the athletic director, come over here, at the University of Utah when I was 20 years old was about zero. I mean, I think it was zero. I don't know if you can get any closer. And then when I was 31, Kathy and I were trying to get a ticket to the North Carolina-Utah game when they finally had the Final Four here, and I couldn't get a ticket till the very last minute. 6 years later, I was the boss. I got every ticket I wanted. Pretty cool. The bar's been raised, and all of us are part of that. What I want to do is to take a little time to introduce my family and give you some historical background. I want to spend some time thanking people. Some have been in my life for more than 30 years, and it's pretty incredible. And I can't look at them right now. I don't feel comfortable singling any person out, so I just wanted to include groups of people and make sure they know I care about them. And last but not least, we'll have some questions and hopefully some answers that make sense. And if they don't, I'm Chris Hill, the athletic director, but I won't be Chris Hill, the athletic director for 2 months, so that'll be happy. I want to introduce my family that's here. I have my California family. I have Emiko, the youngest, Ayumi, okay, Darcy, my son Christopher, and then I have Allie's family with, what's your name, Jag, what's your name? Lily, Addie Rose, and my daughter, Allie, and of course, have my wife.
Not much longer.
I'm not going to be a boxer when I retire, all right? So we'll have a chance to answer questions. That was wonderful. The Hill family DNA has education, teaching, and athletics. Families grow up and they have a little something in their family. And it's been such a passion for all of us. It's been so cool. Everyone in education, everyone in our family in 4 generations have received graduate degrees. My mom and dad in the 40s, if you can graduate, both of them had graduate degrees. Obviously to my brother, to Kathy, to Allie, to Christopher, to Darcy, and to me. That tells you what it's all about. Education has been so very, very important to us. And I received my PhD. All ego aside, that's a higher degree than the other ones have. My brother's a dentist, but heaven forbid, I wouldn't want to look at mouths the rest of my life, so I think that's mine. As education goes, Emiko, Yumi, Jack, Lily, and Addie Rose will either have tremendous athletic scholarships or academic scholarships, or is always available, though it's not tax deductible, will be the Kathy and Chris Hill Assistance Fund, which has been an assistance fund for 42 years. So got that going. In terms of teaching, am I speaking too fast, Liz? Am I okay? My water? I think Liz when I do the water. Teaching in public school system is the most noble of professions in my mind. And my dad, my mom, Kathy, Allie, and me got to be teachers. And I don't think people understand teaching. It is I shouldn't say the hardest, it is a damn hard job. And you shape young people. And it helped me. I can't tell you how much it helps me in this job. You have no clue. and my job at United Cerebral Palsy did too, but teaching has shaped our lives, and that's another thing in our family. Athletics is another one. Grandpa coached at Rutgers for 27 years. My dad played basketball at high school and was a head basketball coach. My brother played football at Rutgers. You're getting a theme of Rutgers. Kathy was a softball pitcher in college, believe it, and a competitive golfer. And you can imagine how I get upset when she keeps beating me. But Allie played soccer in college and graduated from Oregon. Don't be so serious, honey. Okay. Christopher played basketball and soccer and works in athletics. He just works for the bullies. ESPN, the late night games, business strategies. But we get money, don't we, Christopher, from you? Okay. I saw in many, many ways, and I had the what's called a circuit in baseball. I played basketball at Rutgers. I coached, I taught, and I got the chance to spend my life in sports. That is known as a circuit in baseball. And I can't believe it. It just is incredible. I saw the AD position as a family job, both crying in the tough times and celebrating in the good times. My family helped me be advisors in so many ways. They really were part of the job. It's a strange job being an AD. Not a lot of people you can go to and talk to. I need to give you 3 examples that just stick out. One is it was about 11 o'clock at night, and my son calls me and told me something that was going to happen if I didn't get on it right away, and it would have been our top 5 disasters. Maybe there's only 2 disasters. No, they're one of my top 5 disasters, and he saved my bacon. My daughter was in a soccer game here, big-time rainstorm, score 2-1. Hits a lefty cross on the side, the best athletic play in the last 30 years. Boom, right over everybody, bam, back in the net. True story. We don't want to say who it was against. They don't count. No, you can't go there because that's one of my 5 disasters, okay? Sorry, Liz, she made me. So Kathy, and people have heard this story, so we're trying to hire one of maybe the most dynamic coaches we've ever had, and the person coming back for the second interview had to put it off a little bit, and I was going to go for a movie with my son, and because he couldn't come out till Wednesday, and so I come home, and Kathy said, "Red alert, red alert." I said, "What do you mean, red alert? We got a little time off. Everybody thinks I'm out of town." She goes, "No, the coach is coming out. I told him you're his number 1 choice." I said, "That really helps negotiating power, honey. Really a good deal. Really helped me a lot." That agent had me pretty darn good. Thanks. I need to thank a lot of people. And I don't want to do it as individuals, as I said before. It's just so hard. So many good friends. To the president who hired me, he took an unbelievable risk. I always tease him. He took me off the streets of Salt Lake City and gave me a job. And somehow we made it through the darkest of years, 1989, and I was just a pup. To my mentors, I have a lot of mentors, but I had 4 when I went to my very first WAC meeting. They were all over 60, as I am now. Tough hombres. 2 of them, 2 have the arena named after them. And I looked like some punk kid with, I wore a sports jacket, and they kind of looked at me like, we're in Arizona, man, all right? And so I was pretty scared because I sold the president that I could do a good job, and I sold a very, very, very good friend who was on the committee the job too, and he was obnoxious, but God bless him. So we go off to they're going off to the bar after practice, after our meeting. And so they all go to the bar, and I look at them, and I say to them, "Guys, I'm not sure I know what I'm doing. I'm going to need your help. I just need your help." And they kind of looked at me. And I said, "No, guys, I don't know much at all." Best thing I've ever done. Very best thing I've ever done. They took me under the wing. Well, the second best thing was that I actually bought the drinks. for that, so that might have helped, but I didn't reseat it, so we didn't have to worry about anything like that. But I became their boy. They got me on every committee they wanted, and then when I saw them years later, they were just so proud of me. And every time we had a ball game, no matter what age they were, we'd go. I'll never forget, we had one there at the Oregon State game, and all we did is sit and tell stories. We didn't even watch the game. Sorry, Coach Witt. And it's just, I can't tell you how good those guys were to me. To my fellow ADs, who I heard from a bunch today, and I've talked to some of them, nobody will ever get it, that when you think about it, being an AD at a major research institution is about 50 of us. And it's hard to relate to anybody, and that's why my family's been so important, and why I thank them so much is because you got to bounce things off people, and it's got to be confidential. But we go to our meetings, and the information we share, I don't think anybody gets how we all want each other to succeed so much. And we shared all we could, and it just became a really fun group. I would look forward to going to meetings, so I'm ending in March for another reason, so we can go down to Arizona and have some fun with the boys and girls and have a great effort. Women and men, excuse me. And it's a therapy session when we go. We always laugh about it. The commissioner may not be in a room. It's just the ADs, and we're going to try to solve every problem there is, and then the agenda comes, and we can't really bounce it back and forth. So we had started one time when Pat Hayden was the AD there, and we decided to have an executive session, which was a blast. All of us would talk about everything honestly and straightforward, and it was really cool. Good group of people. To the fans and donors, you sent me nice emails and phone calls with ideas, and you had 10 ideas, but you know what? One was pretty good, and I took the one out of the 10, and I'm telling you the truth, implemented it. So you got to listen to all of them to really get some good things. That's why I have this. Isn't it why I have this? Okay. And so they helped us grow. They had a vision that we all had. We want to be great. I pinch myself some days and say, wow, what a cool thing. To my friends, for not quizzing me every day on the Utes, for just being my friends. Good friends are hard to find, especially in a job like mine. I keep mentioning that, but, it's hard. And God bless everybody, but, it's really cool to have friends you can see and don't care if you're the Utes at all. I mean, one of my friends, when I never forget it, and we were talking about it over the weekend, I said, I got the job. He goes, they really gave it to you? I thought, okay. And the university, we have a great university. We would not be in the Pac-12 without a great university. That combination and our athletic program moved us to a level that we're all really happy with her. I'd just like to recognize our new president over there, Ruth Watkins, is right here. And I had my first meeting with her, and I'm really excited about the future. But I'm not going to be somebody that's going to be around a lot. Only speak when spoken to is what Mom said, and that's what you do. So I follow what Mom told me to do. But I'll be helpful, but I won't be around hovering over somebody. I've had my day in the sun. To the student athletes, at the core of what we do, there's no question. It's so rare to be a college athlete and graduate from a college athlete at a major research institution. And it's getting harder. The demands are harder, and you try to do whatever you could to help them. We did, and I had a guy I've been with for 40 years, and we used to think about, if we were in charge, what would we do? Well, we did a lot, and the thing we did the most, and I'm really happy about, is those students are treated well, really well. It's all about gear and food, and they got plenty. To the coaches, and the student athletes shared their lives with us. It's the most dynamic time in their lives, and not could be much better than that. Coaches, it's a difficult job. Influence everybody more than anything. Good coaches do it, they win, and they do it the right way here. And that combination is a hell of a combination. To the staff, I had a wonderful meeting with them just a little bit ago. I hate to, if you think I'm emotional now, that one was pretty tough. Those people are the heroes. They're the ones that get things done behind the scenes. No, I'm not a political candidate that had to drink water during the speech. they, every day, come in the office, and I'm not making this up. You come in and you say, hey, how you doing, how you doing? And you mean it. I mean, you really mean it. Nobody in there makes it hard for you. The expression is I can be friendly with staff, but not their friends. Because sometimes I had to look people in the eye and tell them we have to move on. You never do. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, hey, honey, what do you get to do? Oh, I get to fire somebody today. That's fabulous. Can't wait for it. It's really hard. Some of you folks have become friends, and I thank them for that. You get close because you can fly in a plane and you get home at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're all excited about the game, and it's 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and you rush to your car and beat each other up so you can get in, 4:12 rather than 4:15, and then you get it up and do it all over again on Monday, and you sit in the hallway and so excited to talk about what happened over the weekend and get up and do it again. Hours and days of the week don't matter. They don't matter. They're just, whatever you do because you have such a passion for it. It really is a lot of fun, gang. It really is a lot of fun. To my parents and my brother, they brought me up, I hope, the right way. I think they did. And, instead of everybody gets a trophy, my mom was a tough lady. Nobody got a trophy. All right, you got it? Nobody got a trophy, and just deal with it. Helicopter parents weren't there. My brother and I go out sometimes and just tease because we acted like, oh, today's for the trophy. And we'd fight each other, but there was no trophy. But they just were fabulous, just fabulous people. Tough. They were like a lot of coaches. If you won, you're a piece of crap, and you lost, they boosted you up. But you can't get cocky, and that was the one thing my dad taught me. I hope you folks know that. Besides honesty and loyalty, well, honesty and sometimes loyalty is a bad word, but family and being humble is so very important because you get so much done. For my grandkids, that'd be you guys. Okay, Jack, pay attention. Jack, pay attention, okay? For my grandkids, for just loving me no matter whether the Utes won or lost. It was, hey, Poppy, how you doing? And that's pretty good. To Krista and Allie, they lived and died the Utes all the time. And there was only one really hard thing for me is when the game would be over, and they'd call Kathy, and they'd say, how's Dad doing? How's Dad doing? And I still to this day want to say, how the hell do you think I'm doing? We just lost the game. I'm kind of a wise guy, as you know, at heart, but can I get a fine for saying hell? Do you think so? Or should I bleep that one out? I'll have to call the conference office. To Kathy, your positive support and willingness to put up with me with being so preoccupied. It's hard because it's 24/7. You lay at night and you're just so pissed off at somebody, and you're wondering what's going to happen the next day. And every day is a new day. What's today's challenge? And always there for me. I will be friendlier in the neighborhood, okay? I'll talk to people. I'll talk to them, I really will. The limit's 5 minutes, though, okay? You'll never know. It's been a long journey. We got the job, and, I was 37 years old. By the way, my dad was the youngest superintendent in the state of New Jersey at 37. It's kind of interesting. True story, get it? We're driving down 15th East. You all know that's a speeding trap. And the guy pulled me over. We were smiling, and he goes, you got the job, didn't you? I said, yeah, we did. He said, just keep going, it'll be okay. True story. And we celebrated at McDonald's, which was really kind of a special thing. What I want to get to is some questions and hopefully some answers, but I wanted to ask myself a couple first to kind of get you going. Why now? In January, we made the decision. And there's decisions in life that, are hard. And you get married because your heart tells you to. You have children, if you're fortunate enough and want to have children, because your heart tells you to. Lord knows the tax deduction is not worth it. You get in a car and drive on I-80 to Salt Lake City without a job, and because your heart told you to. That's the 1 year missing on my resume. I was a junior high school teacher when I got back. Actually, I painted a bar tile, it's called, but nobody will ever know that. And you buy a bicycle with your brain and your consumer report. I told the staff this today. You study it, you look at it, and then you go buy it and keep the receipt. Well, this one, I put the yellow notepad down and could have gone on forever. So my heart's telling me, feels good. And so that's all there is, and I guess the other thing is we're in good shape. I think the program's in pretty good shape. I think we got good things going, but at the end of the day, it's from inside. And a wise person told me that once, that's where you make your big decisions. And another person told me, if you think of the right reason, Chris, you'll make it the right decision. What now? As everybody says, they're going to spend more time with their family and friends, and I always wonder what happens if they don't want to spend time with their family and friends, And that's been a big concern of Kathy's, all right? And I'm not going to hover, okay? I'm not going to hover. Maybe play a little more golf, but just enough where I can still use the excuse that if I just played more, I'd be better. I need to dust off my boring resume because I'm afraid they're going to still have the half-yearly sales, and that means I'll still have to bring some revenue into the home. My resume is very boring. CCS consulting firm, I told them I'd do some things for them, but on my time and my deal, because I just want to be able to enjoy just the regular stuff, the regular stuff. And this sounds a little crazy, but I'm going to probably write a book of stories. The staff knows I come up with all these little stories of how you hired somebody, what did you do here, and it's stuff that I've had. And it's not a no-tell, whatever those books are, and I don't know if I'm going to write a book or not, but I thought I'd tell you I'm thinking about it. Maybe to make some of you scared who have stories I know about you that I've never told. I want to leave a ball game with 3 minutes to go, tie score, and walk out. And see how that really feels. I can never get that, but I think that'll be the hardest thing for me to achieve. And maybe there's something in a box for me to open, something new. Been doing this a long time, and Lord knows it's a job that you have to have so many different skills and anxieties and pleasure. But I am a person that's not going to sit when I'm retired and say I'm busier than I've ever been. I feel I'll fail if I did that. I want to do some fun things, do some things that can take advantage of the number of years I've worked at a place and help some younger people. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'd like to go to the questions now. And as you can tell, you got me today is how I am with the staff as much as I can. Serious, but yet trying to have a good time. We have a lot of fun. And but there's no manual for being an AD, but there are guidelines. I've never told the guidelines to the media. But when you've been in a job for 30 years and you're at a big Research One institution, you're allowed to take a question and say, nah, that's a guideline. I don't have to do that one today. And so I made time for you folks to ask me questions. And I'm sorry to go on so long, but had to do it. So questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I just wondered, was there anything special about this particular time about announcing it today?
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's true. I'm glad you asked that. I wanted to wait till the end of basketball season. I didn't want to be distracting to people. Fortunately, Larry's still playing, so my timing isn't great. And I also wanted my son Christopher, Darcy, Yumi, and Emiko to come in, and this kind of worked for them. And so it was that kind of timing. I held it in it was pretty hard. And I think, I am a compassionate person and a grinder, so I gave it my best shot those days too. But that's really what the timing was. I didn't want to be a distraction. I didn't want to go to games and have people say, I won't ask you about parking anymore, Chris, or I won't do this, or I won't do that. But that's the timing of it.
you mentioned how much of a fighter you are. And I'm wondering, is Chris Hill capable of enjoying the regular stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do like a good fight, and I do like to be challenged. But I'm pretty competitive outside of here. But, at the same time, I'm going to go, through some therapy and see if I can get that taken care of.
Chris, I'm wondering what's the thing you're most proud of during your 31 years?
I think we got a culture. It's a culture that we care about each other, and we're not afraid of lofty goals. We're not afraid. And that's something we started a while ago, and you get good people that work hard, and you create a culture. And I think it's a culture that we talk about recruiting, and some schools go and say, we're so cool, don't you want to be part of us? But we go, man, you're so cool, you'll make us better. And it's kind of a family thing. So it's a little bit longer answer than I'd like to give, but I think the culture is what I feel good. And proud's I promised myself I wouldn't ask one of those proud questions, but you got me, so we'll move on.
Will you have anything to do with the search for the new AD? And if you can give the new AD one piece of advice, the most important piece of advice, what would it be?
I've talked to President about Kyle Brennan. And I also talked about helping with if they have any questions. But I do not want to be on some search committee and pick somebody like that. I don't want to hover, okay? And the second part of your question was?
The single most important piece of advice to the new AD, what would it be?
Find people around you that are really, really willing to tell you when you're full of it. I mean, I went to a meeting, and I think I almost gave away my thing, but I always come up with these ideas driving a car and doing stuff, and they seem kind of crazy, and I bring them to the staff. And one of the greatest compliments was we're at the staff meeting. I got a great idea. Let's do this, and one person raises their hand, then another, and they're talking. So I got down, I said, so you're telling me that's a really stupid idea, aren't you guys? And I go, yeah, it was. And I got kind of emotional. I said, if you're a leader, have that around you, and don't pretend that you have it when you don't have it. And you have to be really competent as an employee to be willing to tell your boss he's full of it. So that's big advice for me. And be yourself. I am who I am. It's an old expression, but when you get me, you get me. You don't get somebody else.
Chris, did you do or not do anything that you would have liked to have get done during these 31 years?
Oh, it was perfect. No. There's always something there. Oh, I can think of a million things that we've done and things we haven't done, and but the list goes on. I'll pass on a list. Like I told you, I got one I'm bound and determined to get done. But there's a lot things that you'd like to have maybe won every game. That would be it. And everybody be a 4-0 and be a Boy Scout and Girl Scout. That would have been great.
Hey, Chris, you've had to put self-imposed gag orders on yourself before about the rivalry. Are you happy to finally have that off your mind?
That's a guideline question. That one will be in the book.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, folks.
Made it through.